Now we're on to 10.4, the homework 10.4, and then we'll go to the quiz after the other quiz. So 10.4, independent samples versus matched pairs. So there's only, I think it's 3 questions, just 3 questions on this homework to try to help us make sure. Of course, they have parts A, B, C, D, each of them, so there's really 3 times 4, 12 questions. To help us figure out, are these things matched pairs or are they independent samples? Just wanted to, because on the exam they're going to be all mixed up. So this is just to help you try to get used to that. So here we go. Comparing the daily high temperatures in Los Angeles and San Diego for each day of the summer. So I think it might help if I laid it out for you. It's like they're going to, each day of the summer. So when does summer start? Like mid-June, huh? So let's say June 21st. So they're going to go, the kind of data they're talking about is they're going to say June 21st, and they're going to go LA, let me put it over here on the side, LA and San Diego. And then they're going to give you the high temperature. Maybe in LA that day it'd be 91, and San Diego would be 89. And then they're going to go June 22nd. The high that day in LA was 90. It was 89 again in San Diego, etc. That's what they're talking about. So with that kind of data, be matched pairs or 2 independent, unrelated groups? They're matched because they're the very same day, right? This number and this number are certainly dependent on one another. They're in a dependent relationship. They both come from the very same day of the year, don't they? So that's a matched pair. The other way they could have said, if they just said, hey, we just grabbed like 20 days at random out of the summer for LA and 20 different days for San Diego. Well, that would be 2 independent, wouldn't it? They would not be matched. All right, next one, part B. Comparing the number of times 50 students in California and 50 students in Texas ate out in restaurants last year. Trying to figure out, where they eat out more. So matched pairs or independent samples? Yeah, those are totally independent, aren't they? There's no matching in those in any way. C, comparing revenue at a bike shop in March and in September. So I'm trying to picture it. Comparing revenue at a bike shop in March and in September. And revenue in March and September. Yeah, those are independent. There's no matching up of any kind there. It's the same shop, but there's no like if you did like March 3rd, how much they made. They made, $1,000, and then September 4th or whatever they made $1,200. There's no necessary connection. Like March may be way lower or higher. September may be fall. Who knows? Yeah, there's no necessary matching. D, compare the calories consumed by 50 people for breakfast and dinner. 50 people, trying to figure out, do they have more calories for breakfast or dinner? Those are matched because that's going to be the same person. That's going to be like Joe for breakfast and for dinner. He ate 1,000 calories for breakfast and 2,000 for dinner. And Mary, and on you go. These are going to be matched because they're the same person, huh? Same person for breakfast and dinner. Those are definitely matched. Is it making sense? On we go. Number 2. Here's question 2. Same kind of thing. Comparing the incomes, 40 Democrats, 70 Republicans. Yeah. If the numbers are different, they've got to be independent. They couldn't even be matched unless they're at least the same amount. There's a hint right away to help you. If they said 40 Democrats and 40 Republicans, then I would stop and think maybe they're matched. But if they're not even the same number, they can't be matched. Right? No way. 50 soccer players. Now the numbers are comparing the LDL cholesterol. So the cholesterol for 50 soccer players and 50 basketball. It's still independent. It's still not matched. Even though they are the same amount, there's no necessary connection between a certain soccer player and a certain basketball player. Let's try C. comparing how many hours 70 students spend studying per week to how many hours they spend on their smartphone per week. Those are matched, huh? Because it's the same student, homework and smartphone. Next student, homework and smartphone. Right? Matched up. Next one. So, comparing the days hibernated by 45 black bears in California and 45 polar bears in Alaska. They're independent, yeah. There's nothing matched, right? It's just total days they hibernate. Two different groups of bears. Question 3, our last question. We're rolling this out. First one, comparing pre-test scores before training to post-test scores. They give them some kind of training. They test them before the training, give them the training, test them after to see if they've learned more from the training. That's for sure matched, huh? Because that's the same person before and after the test, the next person before and after the test. So that data is all matched up. Next one, comparing the number of speeding tickets received by men to the number received by women. Independent, right? There's, if we did husbands and wives, that might be, then they're matched up, right? Or brothers and sisters, or something like that. That could match them up, but they're not doing that. So, comparing the pain levels of a group receiving a placebo to a group receiving a medicine. What do you think? That's just independent again, right? Because it's two different groups, right? There's no necessary matching between the groups. Whereas if they did the same person and they gave him a placebo one time and a week later gave him an actual medication and took the pain level differences, that would be matching up, huh? And then D, comparing pain levels before and after treatment with magnetic therapy. They're matching them. And that's it for that homework. That good? Matched and independent. So 10.2 was the section that was independent, right? Last night's homework. And 10.3 was the matched. And the quiz, the chapter 10 quiz we just did had both things in it, huh? Right? All right.